NBL Canada Live this week. I am Kobe K, joined alongside the very handsome and very talented Mr. Brett Hedges, as we continue to bring you the absolute best in weekly highlights, game recaps, power rankings, and of course our exclusive player interviews, your one-stop shop for all things NBL Canada related. Let's start with our tweet of the week, and that came from Janice Mitchell, as she tweets at Hurricanes viewing party while they visit the Island Storm on Friday night at NBL Canada action, hashtag Hurricane Force. So Janice and company having a little viewing party supporting the Hurricanes. If you want to get your tweet up, make sure to send it to at NBL Canada, and we will choose one each week. Now let's get you guys caught up with all of the action that occurred over the last 7 days with your NBL Canada Week in a Flash.
This is NBLC in a flash. Things have been rough on the island this season, and the Storm really needed to turn their fortunes around, and they kicked off the week with a much-needed win over the Halifax Hurricanes. It was Chad Postumus's first appearance since making the move to PEI, and he scored 14 points and pulled down 8 boards, giving the Island crew the slim 108-104 win in Halifax's only game of the week. The Storm hoped that momentum would build from there, and this would be the start of a streak of wins. However, they ran into one of the hottest teams in the league in the Moncton Miracles, and they fell 106-96. Just how hot are the Miracles? Well, they've really been on a tear since Paul Mokeski has taken over, winning 6 of the last 8 games. They had a big week going 3-0, starting off with back-to-back wins against the St. John Mill Rats. The first was at Harbour Station, where the Miracles edged by the Mill Rats 107-102, with Brandon Kearney hitting 23 points, including going 5 for 8 from 3-point range. They headed to Moncton for their second game in their home-and-home series and outlasted St. John 95-92 at the Moncton Coliseum. The Miracles closed the door on their perfect week with a 106-96 triumph over the Storm. Dexter Strickland had the hot hand with 23 points. Another team that went perfect this week was the re-energized Niagara River Lions. They first welcomed the Orangeville A's and took a 10-point win, 119-109, thanks to a 31-point, 13-rebound game from Logan Stutz. The next night, Niagara put together their first consecutive game-winning streak of the season, as Tremar Sutherland scored 17 points en route to a 104-81 road victory over the Windsor Express. Windsor's home loss to Niagara was tough, considering that they had such an impressive performance against the London Lightning in their prior game. Shaquille Keith had a fantastic outing that saw him fall 1 rebound short of a triple-double of 20 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. The tough week would continue for the Express as they would travel to Orangeville 2 days later after losing to Niagara and failed to outlast the A's in a tight affair that ended with a final score of 106-104. The win over the Express helped the A's go 2-1 in the last 7 days. The A's showed great resiliency after losing their first game to Niagara, and their losing streak swelled to 9 games. However, that streak would come to an end at Bud Gardens of all places. The Central Division leaders fell to Orangeville 106-103 thanks to 26 points from Lewis Monks and 22 from Bernard Whitfield. Losing to Orangeville was tough in more ways than one for the Lightning, who also saw team's leading rebounder and one of the brighter spots on the roster, Stephen Maxwell, go down very hard in a scary moment early in the first quarter. He was helped off the court and later diagnosed with a concussion that will keep him out of the roster for the next little bit. The newest London Lightning, Nick Evans, filled in admirably with 16 points and 10 rebounds, and London would go 0-2 on the week. Another 0-2 team would be the St. John Mill Rats, who ran into the buzzsaw known as the Moncton Miracles in their home-and-home series. Not a very good week overall for St. John, but the Mill Rats crew did have one bright spot as Anthony Stover pulled down 23 massive boards in their contest against Moncton at the Moncton Coliseum, which was 1 rebound shy of the league's record of 24. And that's your NBLC Week in a Flash.
Let's start with our top stories. Some upsets going on this week. The Moncton Miracles win 3 in a row behind Paul Mokeski. These teams are allowing 105 points per game on average on the defensive end. Since he has come in, that team has only allowed teams to score 105 twice. They have lost those games. The other 8 they have won. This is a team that was most definitely an offensive juggernaut led by James Justice, but now carrying the defensive prowess and principles to be a legit two-way threat in this league. Moncton wins 3 in a row, including a huge one over the St. John Mill Rats. This team firing on all cylinders, playing on both sides. Look out for the Moncton Miracles.
I couldn't agree with you more. They they've really made some really big signings in Gary Gibson and having Sean Van Zandt coming onto the roster very shortly. Big things coming out of Moncton, but for me, it's in the Central Division, you've got the Orangeville A's, and I want to remind everyone that I said that some big things were going to be coming out of Orangeville because of the play of Daquan Brooks, and they are really flourishing right now. Chris Thomas really has his team playing well, and they knocked off the Windsor Express on Sunday, which we all saw by 2 points, and big things coming out of the Orangeville A's area.
Maybe the best three-point shooting in the team right now. They hit 18 big triples on the London Lightning.
Absolutely, and of course the Niagara River Lions as well, knocking off the Windsor Express. Big things just going on all over the place. Upsets here, runs there, and beautiful basketball, so to speak. It is March Madness, so just so you know. My next story, is Graz Lecole of the Niagara River Lions. He took over as head coach after Ken Murray was let go, and this team has really thrived under him. He's a really player-friendly coach. He's a Niagara guy. He spoke to me after the Express lost to Niagara at the WFCU last week, and he said that Niagara is his hometown, and he really wants this team to play well and represent that region well. And I really feel the pride coming out of this man when he speaks about this basketball team and the way that they're playing. And he had nothing but fantastic things to say about his players after they knocked off the Express. A 104-81 defeating wasn't a small margin of victory, a very large one, an uncharacteristic big deficit loss by the Windsor Express, so to speak. So big things coming out of Niagara as well, and you're seeing the rosters of both the whole league solidifying, and you're seeing some really good basketball.
The Niagara Lions 3-2 under their new head coach, undefeated in the Central, and Logan Stutz had nothing but good things to say. Also, I read an article where he said the dressing room really coming together. They're really rallying behind this guy, so moving forward, I'm sure they're in good hands. For me, it was the Moncton Miracles guard, James Justice, 5'10", plays like he's 7 feet, the Tennessee product, averaged 19, 6, and 5 this week, helping the Moncton Miracles to 3 games. He is lights out. I absolutely love James Justice game.
I couldn't agree with you more. Me and you have spoken at length about the game that this guy has. He can hurt you in so many different areas, and it's only a matter of time before we see him at the WFCU Center, and I really am excited about seeing him as well. And another person who's been really exciting to see for NBL Canada fans is Tyshawn Patterson. Tom Fraser got to sit down with Tyshawn about his journey getting to the NBL, and another noteworthy thing to add to that is Tyshawn is one of many members of the NBL Canada that came from our combine system. So Tom got a chance to talk to him about that in our this week's exclusive play.
Welcome to another one-on-one interview with the London Lightning. My name's Tom Fraser. I'm joined by Tyshawn Patterson, Booby McBuckets, if you're familiar with him on Twitter. Tyshawn, maybe we can start off there. What is Booby McBuckets? Who is Booby McBuckets? Is that your alter ego?
Booby McBuckets is me. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with Friday Night Lights and Booby Miles and Friday Night Lights. All my friends back home, they call me Booby because they say I look like Booby Miles and I act like Booby Miles. And we all grew up together, all my friends back home, and they always said, if you want to win, put Booby in. So that name just stuck with me, and everybody called me Booby, and they know I like to get buckets, so we put it together and we called it Booby McBuckets.
Does it still stick? Does it still stick here in London? Has it come with you? Has it followed you at all?
I believe it has. Everybody likes to get buckets. I think buckets helps win the games, and when we score 100 points, it helps the fans get a free meal.
Perfect. You're from down south. You're from Orlando. It's warm down there. It's cold here right now. Are you used to the winter at all?
Well, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. I lived there till I was about 12, and then I moved to Orlando, Florida. So I'm used to the snow. I don't want to get used to it again, but I have to for the time being. But it's cold here, but I'm getting used to it.
Orlando, also famously known for Disney World, the Universal Studios. Can you pick one or the other, Disney or Universal?
Funny fact, I actually used to work at Disney World. I used to work there. It was a summer job when I was in college. I used to do valet parking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're not one of a character like you're not Tarzan or anything?
No, I'm not Tarzan, but I did have to dress up, and I was known as a cast member, so it was pretty cool.
Okay, you went to Stetson University. Can you tell me a little bit about playing for the Hatters at all?
Stetson, it was in a small town called DeLand, Florida. It's about 10 minutes from Daytona Beach, so I used to go to the beach a lot. That was awesome. But it's a nice town. It's a nice town. I actually played at Stetson for 3 years. Then I actually transferred to go play in South Carolina for a year, and I played at North Greenville for my senior year, where I was top 3 in the country in scoring. That's where the Bucketville came from, and everything just continued to mold together and stick with me.
Yeah, continued success. Obviously, you played overseas. You played South America. Overseas, especially of interest, being over in Africa. Can you tell me about where you played and what that experience was like?
Well, I played in South Africa. I was in Mozambique. Played for the national champions there. We were national champions in that country. Played in a big time tournament called the African Games, where all the top teams from Africa come together. Angola, Tunisia, they come together and they play in a big African tournament to see who's the champion of a whole of Africa. So that experience was well, and also there were good and bad experiences outside of basketball. I seen the poverty, I seen people who needed help. I used to spend my free time going to the homeless shelter there for the boys and girls, and just help give back to the community the best way I can. The hard part about it was they spoke Portuguese there. I can't speak Portuguese at all, so I had a translator that translated for me, and I got through that way.
Sure. Speaking of free time here in London, it's a college university town. There's lots to do. You're a young guy too. What do you do? What do the guys do? Do you get together with the guys at all?
Well, we have a great team. We have great teams, so we do a lot of team bonding stuff. Go bowling. Guys just go over each other's houses, play video games. I'm not a gamer that much, but I'm still competitive at it, and I try. But we play video games and stuff like that. I like to work out, extra stuff, whether it's getting in the gym, getting up shots, or even going to work out and lift some weights.
Quick lightning round of questions for you. We'll just ask you a quick, like 4 questions here. Your favorite movie?
I would have to go with He Got Game.
Favorite TV show?
Right now, Homeland.
A favorite food?
Ham.
Ham?
Ham.
Not spam?
Not spam, ham.
And your favorite, what's on your iPod right now?
Right now, if anybody follows me on Snapchat or follows my Instagram or Twitter handle, I love Post Malone, White Iverson.
You're what a lot of people would call a fan favorite. You're an energy guy on the court. You're an energy guy off the court. When we go to restaurants, you're back there with the kitchen staff making sandwiches. Where do you get that from? Where does that come from?
Well, I learned that life's short, so I just try to enjoy every moment that I can, because you never know when it'll be your last moment.
Okay, we have to ask you a question. One final question is on the big 9-game winning streak. There were a few videos after the game in the locker room of the dance. I think, as it's come to be known, it's a song by Future, I think. Where does the dance come from? Where did you get the music from?
Well, our whole team, we listen to a variety of musics, and actually at that point when I put that video out, that album had just came out, I think the day before. It was a mixtape. It just came out the day before, and when we hear a song and we hear a beat and everybody vibes to it, we just get loose to it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot, Tyshawn. Appreciate it. A one-on-one with Tyshawn Patterson here for the London Lightning. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to NBL Canada Live this week. Orangeville A's head coach Chris Thomas and the Windsor Express's star rookie Shaq Keith got to sit down with Orangeville A's play-by-play announcer Kelsey Wright in these exclusive interviews.
We are here at the Athlete Institute here in Orangeville. Orangeville A's just beat the Windsor Express. This is your second game. of winning now, so it's officially a winning streak. What was it like in the change room after this game?
Oh, it was great. It was great. We, you know, we have a saying: it's better to learn in wins than it is in losses. We got a lot of things to clean up, but we feel really good about our effort this weekend. To play 2 games and win them both against, you know, the 2 top teams in our division is a really good feeling going into our off day tomorrow.
Absolutely. Now you guys have had a little bit of a struggle in the past, I guess, second half of the season. Now you're coming off 2 wins. You got Windsor again at home next week. What are we going to expect to see there?
Yeah, I mean, every time we've played them, you know, all 7 games we've played them have come down to the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say it's going to be a close game again. But you know, the best part about this league is that the familiarity of teams, you know, really allow for close games to be played, exciting games to be played. So, you know, our kids will be ready. We'll make some adjustments. We'll be ready to go, and I'm sure they will as well.
And now, Chris, I'm going to let you go celebrate with your team. One last question. You talked about exciting games, close games. That last play that we saw there, I mean, Kirk Williams Jr. able to put it up from his seating. What's going through your mind at that time?
Well, first of all, to start off, I was lucky there wasn't a microphone by me when Bilal turned the ball over at half court. But no, you know, again, we got to preach effort at the end of games. We got to preach the ability to close out games, and we're getting there. We're really close. But no, just rebounding, holding teams to 1 shot in those situations is obviously paramount to success. So my heart definitely skipped a few beats, but again, a win's a win, and we'll take it.
A win's a win. So that's 2 now for the Orangeville A's in a row. They have another game next Friday against Windsor, and we hope to see more people come. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
We're here at the Athlete Institute. Windsor Express just fell to the Orangeville A's. Shaquille Keith, you had a big part of that game, and you're Canadian. So you're a Brampton native, you're pretty close to home. I see you got your family and friends here. What's it like to play sort of in front of a home crowd?
I mean, it's always good. When my mom comes into play or when she's here, I always try to go and do the extra mile because she never gets a chance to see my game, so I just try to show her what her son is doing throughout the season. So it's always good when I come home, and I feel like I'm at home, so everything just feels comfortable and I feel natural. There's not really any nerves or things like that.
And now, Shaquille, you are completely a hustle and heart player, but you have the stats to back you up as well. How do you prepare for games when you're going a million miles an hour, giving it everything you have, plus being able to score and defend?
Yeah, first I just come in with the right mindset, picture myself doing certain things on the court. Then I pray, and then when I pray, and then God allows me just to put my mind at ease, and once I get into the game, same things that I visualize, I just take whatever the defense gives me. So if it's a type of night where I can kill in transition, I'm just going to go as hard as I can in transition. If it's a type of night where I go off pick and rolls, then I would have to do that. So whatever the defense gives me, I just take my advantages and then just go to the hole or do what I have to do.
And now you've played the Orangeville A's 7 times now. You've gone back and forth, always close games, pretty much always buzzer beaters. What happened at the end of the game tonight?
I mean, it was tough. There were a lot of tough calls down the stretch. We didn't get certain stops that we needed. We took the lead twice today. We were up 5 at the end. We could have done a lot better in the possession-wise, but then at the end, I got the last shot. It just didn't fall. So, I mean, it happens. It's a game of basketball. You don't make everything, but we had the opportunity to win, and we just didn't get to execute.
And now you're back here next Friday. Do you have a game in between that?
Yes, we played Niagara.
Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday we played Niagara.
All right, now you just lost to Niagara. It's not something that we would expect to see from a Windsor team. What happened there?
I mean, we played a big game against London the night before. Everybody played great. Everybody played great. We were tired. It's a big game. London's one of the best teams in the league. So fatigue definitely played a part in the second half of that game. So it all comes down to just recovering. And now we have the chance, and we have to come back over here one day to recover. We just got to get back under our feet and go back at it again.
All right, I'm going to let you go celebrate with your family and friends after this one last question. You've got a game in between. Orangeville A's have the entire week to prep for you. They got no games in between. What are we going to see now in the next home game against you in Orangeville?
We're going to come back a lot more hungrier because this is 1 point leads all the time. It's one basket, one possession. So every time we come here, it's a playoff atmosphere. So the next time we come into this gym, we're coming here just to do what we have to do and go home. So it's going to be a fun game.
All right, great game today, and we'll see you next Friday. Good luck against Niagara.
All right.
Welcome back to NBL Canada Live this week. And in another edition of Chuck Miller's Stat of the Week, Anthony Stover of the St. John Mill Rats is at the centerpiece. Check it out.
Chuck Miller, your NBL Canada League statistician, with your NBL Canada Cool Stat of the Week. The record for most block shots in the regular season was set 2 years ago when Cavell Johnson had 66 blocks. With 2 months left this season, Anthony Stover of the St. John Millrats has 78 blocks and could be the first player to reach 100 blocks in a season. And only 5 players have had 100 blocks or more in their NBL Canada careers. And that's your NBL Canada Cool Stat of the Week.
All right, folks, that's going to do it from all of us here at NBL Canada Live this week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on nblcanada.ca. And don't go anywhere. Enjoy our highlights of the week. Peace.
Transition. Leaves it for Cummins. Showtime. Bring the Lightning in. Nice studs there. Nice offense for a few buckets here today. Nice drive. Count it. He gets it to fall with the reversal. Turnover. Shaquille Keith.